Hey everyone, Royalivi here, and welcome back to episode 4 of my Sorare Road to Glory, where I keep track of my Sorare journey and keep a running total of the profit and losses I'm making. So as mentioned before, I was looking at getting Zemeletdinov or Diego Rossi, and I settled on getting Diego Rossi for 0.15 Ethereum, or about £350. So, definitely not cheap, but he's a really great player from when I've seen him in the MLS. He's got a great record there, and I'm sure he's going to do well in Turkey. He's with Fenerbahce now, so he's moved from Champion America to Challenger Europe. It's a loan with an option to buy, so even if he doesn't stay there, I'll still have a great forward in Champion America if he returns, so I'm very happy with that. And overall, I think I got a good price for him. Looking at Sorare data, you can see his most recent sell before mine was 0.151. So not only did I get him cheaper than that, but this 0.151 offer was 4 days ago, so the price of Ethereum was a bit more then as well. So, Ethereum's gone down the last couple of days, so I thought I'd jump in at 0.15. And yeah, I think he's going to be a great option to have for my Challenger Europe team. On the note of buying players as well, I also think it's really important to have a ceiling of what you want to bid on a player and not break it at all. For example, here with Diego Rossi, I did not want to go higher than 0.15 and I stood firm. Everyone's obviously looking out for the best deal for themselves, so especially over Discord, you've got to be prepared for people to come back saying they want this much and not this much. So I always just tell them, thanks, fair enough on your end, but I'm not willing to go over this. Sometimes you move on and look for other players, and sometimes they come back to you because they really need the Ethereum, like in this case. And similar here, this was for Quasi Riet quite a while back. This guy wanted 0.088. I wasn't willing to go over 0.085. And like Sombrero stated here, you might be thinking, well, what's the point in haggling over that little Ethereum, 0.003 Ethereum, 8 quid or something. In the grand scheme of things, not a lot of money at all when you're spending this much on the player. But if you're going to be making a lot of transfers, that all adds up. So if I spend that little bit extra on Rossi, and that little bit extra on Quasi Riet and all the other players I've purchased, that's all going to add up to more Ethereum and even my wallets. So I think it's good to stay firm on the prices you're willing to pay for players, always keeping on Sorare data and the price of Ethereum and how that affects how much you're willing to pay, and be prepared to call the deal off if you can't come to an agreement, Always know what you want to spend and be patient as well, because more cards will be listed. You'll maybe be able to go to someone else and make an offer, or keep an eye on other options in that same position that perhaps could be a better replacement if the card you're looking for isn't at the price you want. It's always good to have a short list of players you're willing to buy. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I think if you want to make money on this game, every bit helps, and it's important to be sure of how much you want to spend on a player. It's also worth noting I got this Olivier Ncham card as well. Now, I got him for about £70 quite a while ago, when he was still at Celtic actually, because I thought he might get some game time there. Obviously, they released him, no one was sure where he would go, but he has joined Swansea, and on the last game week, he started left wing for them. I think he got 70 minutes, didn't get a goal or an assist, but scored 51 points. I'm sure he'll start getting some contributions for them. I'm hoping he'll get regular game time. I think he, again, is going to be another really great option to have. And you can see on the market here, his lowest card at the moment is about 370 quid. Again, is he worth that? Who knows? But, definitely profit there if I decided to sell him on now. But I think he'll be a great card to have, especially because he signed a 3-year deal in the Championship, so I don't expect the Championship to be onboarded any soon. So these cards of Ncham are quite limited, so I think that's only going to help his price. There'll be no new cards of him, so I'm hoping he goes up in price as well as does well. I think again he'll be another great player to score me some points, and I'm hoping he does really well at Swansea. So in Game Week 2-1, we had a bit of a shocker in Champion America. Nealis again performed very poorly. Alan Pulido, my captain, didn't even play. Sean Johnson and Lewis Morgan did below average. Shiny Ishiki did well, but obviously not even close to winning a reward there. And in Global All-Star, our aim was to hit the 0.02 Ethereum threshold, and we did that by 0.15 points. So, that's about as close as I could get to just about hitting that threshold, so very happy there. Thankfully, Mitso came through as my captain. He got 102.9 points from me, so that was very helpful. Very good all-round score from him. He's turning out to be a very good player for me. He doesn't get goals and assists too often, but even when he doesn't, he can still get high points here and there with his all-round score being so good. So you can imagine if he gets goals and assists in the future as well, how much better that will be. And a clean sheet for Szczesny, and average performances from Metanar, Rossi and Ncham. Not enough to get me into the T3 brackets, of course, but very happy to hit the 0.02 Ethereum threshold, as that was my main aim here, so I can't complain. And a good thing from Gameweek 201 is that Bill Hamid and Romel Kyoto are back playing for their team. So Bill Hamid had an injury and was out for about 6 weeks. He's one of my common goalkeepers I like to use, so it's good to have him back as an option. And Kyoto has had a bit of an injury hit season, so it's good to see him starting for Montreal. You know, he got 2 assists and a goal, an 88 score. He wasn't in any of my teams this week, as I wasn't aware he'd be back and starting, but it's good to see him back playing, you know. It'll be a great option for me to have in the teams, and hopefully his value may go up a bit more. I think he's about £200 at the moment, so, you know, if he's back playing, that's only going to positively impact that. So yeah, glad to have him back. And anyone who watched episode 3 last week, you'll know that Mike de Virk got a red card. He's my only Challenger Europe defender, so unfortunately I won't have a defender for this week, so I've had to go out and buy one. So for 0.0405 Ethereum, I bought Ayrton of Spartak Moscow for about £105. I think he'll be a great player to have, you know, plays most games, he's on a 5-year deal there, they spent a bit of money on him, so I'm sure they'll be looking to use him, so not too upset about that. And I also managed to finally trade my Scott Caldwell Super Rare for 3 rares in Abdon Prats, Ivan Baliu and Eamon Azil. Now, I bought Scott Caldwell months ago in the March hype, you know, back when I was planning a Division 3 Champion America team. I spent about £170 on Scott Caldwell, and it never really panned out for me. I didn't really ever enter a Division 3 team, and his value dipped significantly since then. I was struggling to sell him for £100, you know, he was on the market the other week for £80, no one was buying him. So to get an offer of these 3 players, all worth about £50 roughly, you know, about £150 total, I'm very happy with that, because he is definitely not worth that. So that's a big win for me in that sense. I've still probably lost money overall on Scott Caldwell, but I'm just going to value each of these rares at about £55, so whatever I sell them for, I'll use £55 as the metric for whether I made a profit or a loss. And I immediately sold Ivan Baliu on the same day for 0.0209 Ethereum, or about £52. So, you know, we'll just say I lost a fiver there, but this allowed me to go out and buy Ayrton and get a bit more Ethereum back into my account. It's just going to be so much easier to sell these rares than it was Scott Caldwell, so I'm happy about this trade, so yeah, can't complain about that. I'll probably look to sell Abdon Prats, and I may keep Eamon Azil in the club, we'll see. You know, he's a young player, plays most weeks for Fortuna Sittard, so, you know, he could be worth more in the future, so I might hang on to him. So with all that out of the way, let's look at my teams for Game Week 202. So for Global All-Star, as mentioned, Bill Hamid's back, so he's in goal. I've then got Sean Nealis, who's not done great recently, but, you know, I'm hoping he pulls it together. And then I've got in Cham, Simon Gustafsson as my captain, and Quasi Riet, so a decent midfield and forward there. In Champion America, I've got Johnson, Metanira, Kyoto as my captain. Now he's back, as mentioned. Lewis Morgan and Shiny Ashiki, who's playing well lately. And I'm really not happy with my Champion America team lately. You know, the defenders just aren't working out for me. I need to fix that definitely. Sean Johnson's not doing great in goal, so I may look to sell him. Pulido's not doing great up front. Again, he's worth about £400, so I may look to offload him. Overall, I think this whole team needs a rework. And with the season ending soon, hopefully prices drop a bit and I can pick up some new players to improve my team, so we'll see how that goes. And Challenger Europe, this is definitely the best area of my club. So in goal we've got Brandehorst, my new signing Ayrton in defence, Mitso midfield, Nicholas Storm as my captain with Diego Rossi as my extra. Now this is quite a strong team that I'm really happy about, and as you saw my Global All-Star team, I've also got Challenger Europe players as backups such as Ncham, Gustafsson, Quasi Riet, so I think in Challenger Europe I'm sorted. I've got Mike de Virk to come back as well, and this definitely should be a team that I think is good enough to compete for some rewards every week, so let's see how we got on. And Game Week 202 was a bit of a tough one to take. We got 313 points in Division 4 Global All-Star, so we've hit the 0.02 Ethereum threshold, but we missed out on a T3 card by about 5 to 10 points. Now, if we'd captained Olivier and Cham instead of Gustafsson, you know, we might have got a T3 card, but I'm not psychic, I didn't know that. And unfortunately, Gustafsson also went off in the 19th minute with an injury, so he scored in the 5th minute, and then he got injured in the 19th, so he got points for the goal. Maybe he would have done more if he'd stayed on. Not sure how long he's out for, so that's a shame. But again, we hit the threshold here, so that's another £45 at the time of recording. Now Ethereum is crashing a bit with this Evergrande housing bubble crisis that's happening in China right now, so we'll see how that affects the price going forward. Could be a good time to buy some Ethereum, you know, get some more on board, but we'll see how that plays out. And obviously in Global All-Star Division 4, it's going to be hard to compete on weeks where Ajax are winning 9-0 and Bayern Munich are winning 7-0, you know, lots of those players and stacks of those teams about, so obviously when they perform well, which they're going to do a lot as they're great teams in their leagues, you know, it's going to be harder to win rewards. So on another week, my points tally maybe could be enough to get me into the T3 bracket, but unfortunately it wasn't to be this week. And in Challenger Europe, we were about 40 points shy of getting a reward here. Unfortunately, Diego Rossi let me down a little bit there, so that's a shame. And a similar story in Champion America. You know, again, my captain did alright. Romain Metinar had a good week, but I was let down by Lewis Morgan and Andrei Shiniashiki, who came off the bench late on. You know, he didn't even play. He was doing well recently, a few goals and assists. So I thought he would be starting, but that wasn't the case. So we missed out on a reward here as well, but as I said, we hit the 0.02 Ethereum threshold, so I can't complain too much. And thanks for watching if you've stuck around this long. This video is a bit longer than I probably would have liked, so for future episodes I'll try and not talk as much shit and keep the episodes shorter. Win-win for everyone. And as always, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Yeah, cheers for watching.